JavaScript from beginner to advanced. Today we will discuss about how to use the document query selector for selecting an element from HTML. Document query selector is a good way to select an element in from HTML in JavaScript, and after you can assign this element to a variable, and after you can manipulate it. Okay, I have here more one HTML. Inside this HTML I have a div and an order list with more items, and also again a main div with 3 div inside with class card. Okay, I would like to show you more way about how to select in JavaScript using document query selector. Document query selector is the best approach for selecting an item. Don't use get element by ID. Query selector it's ideal for selecting what do you want from HTML. For example, if you want to select just this element with data ID 101, you can do this. Or if you want to select just the element who start with card in title, you can make this. With get element by ID you can take just from ID. Okay, let's start it with first example. We can with query selector we can select from ID. Okay, of course we have document get element by ID, but you can use also this document query selector by ID. Here first document select in alt searching for in alt document, but if you want, if you put here for example another div, will looking for just in this element. Now looking in all my documents, because I put here document.query selector main title, looking for in all document and take the element with main title. Element with main title is this heading 1. No, do you see here has main title ID. Okay, I put it into a variable, and now I would like to manipulate it, to change his style. I will change font weight, font size, and also color, and I put these attributes on my variable title, and let's see what happens. Do you see here this element with main title ID change the color, the font weight, and font size? Okay, also you can with document query selector you can selecting by class. You have another method, but it's not okay. This document get element by class name, or but it's not okay. Take this document query selector, looking for in all documents, because I put here document, not other variable, the elements who has the special class. Let's see in my document, this is entire document, special class. Here it's item, here it's class equal card, and special I have this, just this element item 3. This is element with class special. Have this element has two class, item and also special. I would like to select just this element with class special. Okay, and I use document query selector, and my selector is this class special. And now I will manipulate it, and I change his background in green, adding on it a style background color green, and this is my element. Do you see here, I take with query selector the element with class special, this element, and after I change it his background. Also, if you use document query selector, you can select by attribute. When you select by attribute, it's very simple to take an element. For example, now I want to take an element whose data type is intro, is equal with intro data type. This element, this data type or data ID, there are elements who can replace the ID. You can use instead an ID, no? You can and in some aspects is a good option. Okay, should to take this div, no, with these two paragraphs. I discuss about these parts. Okay, let me to select by attribute. I select by attribute these parts, and now I will put a background color coral for show your elements. Okay, that are those elements. I select by attribute document query selector, and inside data type equal intro between these brackets, square brackets. If you put square brackets, that means it's an attribute. You just to be careful on the syntax is attribute, you put it in the square bracket. Also you can selecting by the nth child. For example, if you want to select the third list item using nth child, let's see, for 4 element. I put here 4, but the variable is third, doesn't matter. Document query selector, looking for in element with item list. In this element, in this unordered list, we looking for a li element, okay, on the 4 position. Li element 1, 2, 3, 4. This element item 4 will be changed, and I give it some style in blue background and color white, and item 4, do you see here, change his aspects. This nth child, it's helpful because, do you see here, you didn't put nothing nth child in your style. This is all style for me, this CSS, but you use this nth child in JavaScript, and you can manipulate it. Also, you can select with document query selector a link with target equal blank. For example, in my case, this is ref. My ref, this have target, attribute target is blank. Okay, I select by attribute target. No, I select by attribute target, but target who has a black new page, blank. The link will be open in the new page. No, I select by attribute. Target is the attribute. And how to do this? Like before, document query selector, item is a, that is link, and the attributes, that means put square brackets, who is the name of attribute, target, and I want to select about new page, blank page, no, and okay. I will change his color in red and background in orange. I will setting here, and do you see here I change his aspects. Also you can select with query selector a card with a specific data ID. I selected card 102, this card 2, okay, and I will change it in his background in green. Also this is a selecting by an attribute. Attribute is data ID, and I put here, I specify that has a card class, because I have here car class, car class, car class. No, I want this, an element who has car class and data ID equal 102. Car 2 is my number, and I will put the color in green. Let's see the result. This is in green. Okay, also I can select all the elements whose title attributes start with cards. For example, if you want to put a hand on some element, you can add another attribute and give a name, and after you give the same attribute and the name who start with the same word, and you can select it now and put it in a variable, and after you can iterate through it easily. Okay, let me to select all the element with this document query selector whose title start with card. And let's see, this is 1 and 2. These two start with card, item 1 and item 2. These are the element. I can to put the hand on them just with selecting by attribute title, but in attribute title I put also a condition that title start with card. Do you see is a sign? This sign it's also using in CSS. Start with something. Start with something is this sign title, and this sign equal card. And now I will iterate through this card items with a for each. And I will change his background in aqua. Okay, I iterate with for each and apply for all elements an aqua background. Also I can select all element with this document query select all whose title attributes end with card, and with card I have this 4 car and 3 card. Okay, I will override this green, and blue will be has coral color background. And with card item So second, select all the element whose title attribute and with card. So you see with query selector you can take attributes who start with a word letter or end with a word letter, or who contain a letter, or who have another something function in if you can continue in JavaScript to write okay. And with card item, dollar is the sign for and with some letter or word. I hear word. Document query selector all, because I would like to select all element is more like one. Also here the same way I looking in item list div with ID item list. I looking for a li who start with title in card. This dollar is who start, and now I iterate through them and I put coral background, that instead this green and blue will be background coral. This is that was all for today. Don't forget when you selected some element using mandatory document query selector, if you have one, or document query selector all for more element. This document query selector is very versatile and help you to select an element. You can select an element with certain attribute, or who have an attribute who start with a letter, with a word, who contain an element, another element, or another letter or word. Also about ID, class, or anti-hash child, but retain you can select by attribute, and that is a good approach. That was all for today. I hope you understand, and don't forget using this document query selector. All the best.